Hi everyone, I'm Yuan Fang, a product designer and also a first-year HCDE student. Today, I'm excited to present my redesign project for Pratt Fire Center. Before diving into the detailed design process, let me first introduce my client. Pratt Fire Center is a welcoming and inclusive art community based in Seattle, Washington. Committed to creativity and accessibility, Pratt empowers artists of all backgrounds to explore, learn, and grow in a supportive environment. However, Pratt's existing design system had several challenges that needed to be addressed. The layout across different pages were inconsistent, making navigation confusing. In addition to that, the overall information architecture was disorganized, making it difficult for users to find what they needed. The lack of clear text hierarchy and ineffective color use contributed to a cluttered experience. With these challenges in mind, I set 4 main goals for the redesign. The first goal was to improve consistency across all design elements. The second was to enhance community visibility so that Pratt's inclusive and creative spirit could shine through. Establish a clear visual hierarchy was also a priority to improve usability. Lastly, strengthen Pratt brand identity was essential to make it more recognizable and impactful. To achieve these goals, I started by defining the visual direction of the project. Mood board plays a crucial role in this process. At the beginning of the design process, I explored 2 distinct mood boards. One focused on vibrant, artistic, and circular forms, fluid movement, using bold colors and dynamic shapes to convey a sense of creativity. The other took a more structured approach, emphasizing pattern, simple, order, and contrast through geometric composition and repetitive elements. Eventually, I combined elements from both directions to create a final mood board that balanced playfulness and strong contrast patterns. After establishing the visual tone, I moved on to designing the logo. The core idea behind the logo was to play with shape and geometry. I explored different ways to abstract the letter form of Pratt by breaking them down into geometric components and simplifying their structure. At the same time, I ensured that the final design remains readable with staying true to the experimental and artistic nature of Pratt. Building on the logo, I then focused on refining the layout system. When designing the poster pattern, I experimented with 2 different approaches. The first approach emphasizing circular shape and asymmetry, adjusting the size, placement, and proportion of circle to create a dynamic and playful composition. The second approach was inspired by negative space and grids, mimicking Mondrian style by segmenting the page into structured blocks and contrasting elements. After exploring both directions, I chose to further develop the second approach, incorporating grids, circle, and intersecting lines to create both orders and artistic flow. Color was another key element of the redesign. Initially, I explored a Mondrian style palette and gradient patterns, but after testing, I refined my approach. The gradient-based design felt too cluttered, and the small color area lacked of impact. As a result, I shifted towards using solid, bold color blocks, which provided a clear and more intentional look. The final color palette is carefully selected to reinforce Pratt brand identity. Blue represents stability and depth. Yellow conveys creativity, red symbolizes passion and craftsmanship, and black enhances visual contrast. To unify the design system further, I introduced a pattern language that ties different elements together. By combining contrasting color blocks with points, lines, and planes, The patterns help distinguish different sections while maintaining a cohesive rhythm throughout the design. This balance the structure and reflect the creativity and inclusivity. Once the foundation was set, I turned my attention to refining key design components. One of the most important aspects of the website is the cards. Alongside this, I introduced a clear bottom hierarchy. Square bottoms were used for main actions, while circular bottoms indicated secondary interactions, with selective secondary bottom or lines in red to create visual contrast. For sections with large amount of text, I added color background blocks behind the text to improve readability and create stronger content separation. This not only enhances clarity, but also adds an additional layer of visual interest that ties into the overall aesthetic. The final part of the redesign focused on the business kit, which needed to balance between professionalism with creativity. Thank you so much for listening.